Welcome back. Today we're going right to it. We're tackling that subframe bolt. I've got some energy. I've got some motivation. I've got some insight from YouTube from none of the fans that watched the video. My last video, I clickbaited the hell out of it. Got like 160 views, the most views, like triple the views if I got on any video. So I got motivation to keep filming, keep getting videos out. I'm going to clickbait the hell out of them and see where it goes. But I got energy. I got motivation. So let's tackle that subframe bolt, see where we get to, and see where we're going to go from there. So roll the footage, going to time lapse.
So I wanted to start this project out by looking at it a little deeper. Now that I got into it, I saw that there was a little bit of play in the bit that was broken off. So I sat there and try and spin it backwards a little bit. You saw me do a little hand motion to try and remember righty tighty, lefty loosey kind of things. So I sat there with a couple different punches and screwdrivers trying to tap it in circles, and then wasn't really budging, wasn't falling out. So I took a punch and just started breaking it. Since it's high-speed steel, it shatters pretty easily. So I just kind of just started busting it apart. So that's kind of what I looked at doing. You can see I have using the wrong tool for the right job here. Kind of getting it to spin a little bit, pulling chunks out, and getting it broken out and pulling it out. While I was in there looking at it even further, I was noticing that the broken off bolt inside there was actually cracked. I don't know if that was from the heat from the last time or the extractor bit broke it when I was using it, but that was one thing I noticed. So I kind of just was working to get that bit out so then I could work on some other things. So here I have just taking a punch and just starting to break pieces, and little by little, I was actually able to break some of the pieces of the broken bolt out, and you can kind of see, can't really see it falling on me, but safety first. I actually got my glasses on this time and was actually breaking pieces off. Yeah, so some of the other things I tried was just trying to drive two pieces of, a screwdriver and a punch or a pin, and trying to use that as like to pinch it between the two sides of the bit, and that wasn't really working. So I ended up just kind of driving screwdrivers and punches into it, shattering it, breaking pieces off little by little. Just kept going and going at it. Yeah, so now I'm kind of really wailing at it. The one thing I did is I had another smaller punch, and you'll see a little bit here that I actually take it and cut it up and cut it a little more at an angle so that I put a little, basically cut so there's a sharp edge on it, and I'm able to drive it in between and use it more of a wedge versus anything else. But the first punch I actually did was actually flattened it to make it have a nice edge on it. But soon in this video I'll actually go in and grab a second punch to pry in between some of the areas. What I'm trying to do here is I was able to get further into the hole, and what I'm doing was drilling deeper and trying out the extractor bit again. It was slipping a little bit, and what I noticed is that crack in the area was just kind of breaking out. So I was able to get chunks of that out, And what I decided to do was go in there a little more, drill it out a little more. Yep, so here, you can see me cutting that angle onto the punch. These are old punches. They're not brand new by any means. They're just some hand-me-down punches that I've gotten over the years, and by no means are they good condition. And I don't mind cutting a little bit on them to make them work for what I need to do now. So that's the reason. I don't no reason to be butthurt about cutting up tools like that. Make them work as you need them. So I went in here with a smaller drill bit to see if I could get some more, alignment on it. I ended up breaking this bit and kind of bite. It bit into the last little chunk of the old bit that was in there and ended up breaking off. So I just try to punch again, bending more pieces out of the way and getting it moving a little further. Yeah. One thing I know I struggled with a little bit was the angle. Just had very little leverage. Pushing up from the ground. Just trying to push off whatever surface I can. Trying to leverage both arms a little bit. And yeah, so this one I stepped up to a different 1/4 inch bit I had, and then that ended up breaking off again inside the hole. So ended up trying to take that angle punch and bending over more of the old bolt and getting it further in there. One thing you see me like walking in a circle. What I was trying to do was use it more like using the side of the bit more than just the tip, leveraging it as much as I should, and just kind of grinding away little by little. By no means it's the right thing to do, but ended up working pretty well to get a wider hole and open up the opening a little bit more so that I could get the punch to, make it thin enough so the punch to break it off. So that was one thing I was trying to do there. What you see here is I actually cut a notch in one of my punches, the one that I left flat, and I'm using it to basically spin on the bit that is broken off still in there, and that's from the original bit from the last video that you guys saw. So use that punch, basically twisting it around, getting in a position where I could really smack it, and there you can see I got it out, and now I can really hammer at it with the drill. So this time I actually remembered, hey, lubricate the hole a little bit and really get in there and drill it out. But you don't see it when I'm actually grabbing tools off the top of the toolbox and going at it a little more with different bit because I broke that one again. So I ended up going through 2 1/4 inch drill bits, a 15th, 16th, and I think one of my 3/16 bits. So yeah, I kind of call it quits. The bits were fairly old, but you'll see a little bit later I show you the bits themselves and all that. But when I re-drilled with the 1/4 inch bit, I actually made a deeper hole. So tried with the extractor bit a little more. It's just not budging. I don't think it ain't gonna go anywhere with all the pounding I did on it, the corrosion, the cold. Try putting heat to it. Let's see here. It's all with no avail for the extractor bit. So yeah, so I think that was kind of another lost cause here. But what I'll show you later in the video is how much is removed, so that we can talk about plans for the next steps here. So I'm putting a lot of force. You saw the entire car move, the whole chassis per se. So I didn't want to, put all my effort into it and break the extractor bit. It's just not good. Even I was hesitant to hit it with a dead blow to try and help it, but even that was not working. So yeah, all in all, I removed a ton of material. If I had some carbides, I would probably take a die grinder to it a little more and try and open it up. But for right now, this is kind of where I'm at, and I chiseled that, drilled that a little more here, and got a lot more material. But at the end of the day, there is still the outer ring of a bolt stuck to the threads, and it's not going anywhere. So, we'll end the time lapse here soon, and we'll get into explaining what the next steps are for, my plan for the next steps here. So, stay tuned.
So that was a lot of work. We made progress. Got the broken drill bit out. Happy about that. And kept drilling. The easy out or extractor bit. I got a ton of torque on it. And it just wouldn't budge. Didn't want to break that. So took that out. Stepped up to a... the extractor bit needs a 1/4 inch drill bit. I stepped up to a size larger. Got a little bit bigger hole. I was actually taking, you'll see the chisel. I was pounding, breaking shit off. It was working, and I was chipping them away. So let's get under the car, not trip over that. Unplug, no big deal. Under the car, we'll see with some light. We made progress, made a hole. Nothing's coming out. That is stuck in there. So, what's the plan? Let me get out from under here. So the plan. I watched a video this week, like I always do, watching videos, and I saw someone struggle with the same thing. Broke a bolt, try to drill it all the way through, try to break a stud. So shout out to Taylor Ray for this idea. What he did is he studded it. So he cut a bolt, whatever length he needed, and basically welded that to the hole so that when he's in the subframe, you can just nut it. Put a nut on it, call it a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order 4 brand new subframe bolts. I'm going to order a nut off like McMaster or whatever. And then I'm going to get a buddy up here. We're going to weld a stud to that hole. I think it's the best option. We're going to make the best progress from there. It'll hold just like anything else. I mean, that pocket is going to work just fine. So I'm not going to drill anymore. I'm not going to do anything else. So I'm going to get a buddy up here with a welder. He's got a mobile welding setup, and we're going to go from there. I'm not going to break any more bits. Broke that. This is another 1/4 inch bit, broke. A step down 3/16, that broke. There's the original one. That one's broke. And then I stepped up to 15/16. That bit's shot. The whole end's broke, messed up. So, no more drilling. No more wasting my cheap bits. And I'm going to just stud it. I am confident it's going to be, it's one of 4. It's going to hold the subframe. It's going to hold my engine up. If it breaks, we'll figure something out. I don't want to go the route of cutting the subframe and trying to put a new pocket centering that quite yet. You know, that can be another off season when this car's actually driving. So for now, we're going to stud it and go from there. So let's move on to something else. Put tools away, clean up a little bit, and hopefully we can get something else done or start a different part of the project. So let's go. So, oh man. So, as you saw, probably not a very good angle, but all what I was doing was taking a bristle brush on my angle grinder, you know, Harbor Freight Special, Bauer brand. Taking the angle grinder, and you know, I broke up all the sound deadening a while ago. You probably remember that from the earlier video. So I went through, cleaned up all the residual glue, so you can kind of see back here. I didn't do like I didn't do it fully back here, like aggressive, I should say. Not as aggressive as I got up in the wheel wells. Like this is just, it's all down to the paint. Some spots I wore through, kind of like, you can see it bucked and did a bunch of stuff there. So I did that foot well. You can see just, there's a ton of dust. So the reason I jumped into that is because what I want to do is get the interior ready and prepped for paint, so that come a really nice day, a warm day, you know, I'm hoping to have the interior ready and prepped come, you know, it's going to be like a month or so. You know, it's February, mid-February now in Minnesota. You probably won't see warmth until April. So my hope is to have the interior ready to spray, kind of clean all the dust, because you can kind of see that's all like gravel road dust or something. You know, it's everywhere. All that dust, probably from sitting, you know, up in the ledge there. So my goal is to, you know, get some tough stuff or whatever kind of degreaser and completely clean the interior, Scotch Brite it, scuff it up. You know, I could go down the road of taping the windows off, but I want to get that prepped so that come spring I can rattle can it, because I've got this Rust-Oleum Coastal Gray. You can see it on the center console or tunnel. I sprayed it there in the back. Back when I originally pulled the interior out, so I wanted to see what I was getting into. So I went and bought a bunch of Scotch-Brite, a couple more cans, so I can do the interior, prep that, and then once I do that, I can start laying in some other stuff. Like, while I'm prepping, I can lay my lines for my rear handbrake and drill the holes for that. Get the plate mounted where I think I'm going to have it. And get that all situated. Get my handbrake all set up. Then I can start buttoning up interior wherever I want and go from there. So that's the plan. And then there's also these, all my drip rails. I'd love to scuff and, put some wrinkle black or something on those to kind of clean them up and go from there. So shit's everywhere on me. That's the plan. I'm hoping in the next video I have a buddy here and we can start tackling the rear end. Get this car up as high as we can, get them on the new jack stands, and start hopefully not breaking any more studs or bolts. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that whole thing. So the plan is to get the rear subframe tackled, hopefully in the next couple videos. Hopefully with a buddy to help. That's kind of the goal. So I'm gonna end it here. I'm done for the night. So thank you for watching till now. If you got here, great. Like, comment, subscribe, and got new videos coming every couple days. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.